Hello people, what's up, what's up, what's up? सोचा है कि हमने क्या कभी सोचा है ये तुमने क्या सभी सोचा है सोचा नहीं तो सोचो अभी. Hello people, I hope you all are doing super amazing. Guys. People, welcome back to lecture number 3 of SEBI regulations. Welcome to lecture number 3 of SEBI regulations. People, in the first lecture, we have completed with the meaning of an IPO. Then we understood who are the key players in an IPO. We understood. Then we understood who help the company in going with an IPO. Who are the intermediaries? Intermediaries means what, people? The ones who help the key players in going for an IPO. Intermediaries means what, people? The ones who help the key players in going for an IPO. We understood intermediaries. Now people, one more intermediary is remaining. Let's quickly understand it. People, today our target is, I will tell you, today our target is to complete appointment of intermediaries will be done, and then people, and then will come towards the heart of the chapter, that is eligibility of an issuer. The heart of the chapter, people, that is eligibility of an issuer. People, just one sec. Yes, people, let's quickly get started with the last intermediate that is remaining. That is compliance officer. That is called as, people, compliance officer. People, one sec. Yes. Hello. Yes, people. Well, now we're going to understand the last intermediary that helps a company, that helps the key players in going for an IPO. And then last intermediary is, people, compliance officer. Compliance officer is that person, people, is that person, whatever rules and regulations we are going to study in this chapter, whatever rules and regulations we are going to study in this chapter, every single thing, if the rule is being followed or not, is checked by whom, people? This compliance officer. Rules are followed by the key players or not is checked by whom, people? Compliance officer. Okay, people. Now let's quickly read it. The issuer means what, people? The company who is going for an IPO. The issuer must appoint a compliance officer who is responsible for monitoring the compliance with securities laws. People, right now we are studying securities law. SEBI regulation is a part of securities law, people. Securities law. In SEBI regulation, people are going to understand takeover rules, regulations. If a company is going to acquire another company, what are rules and regulations it has to follow. This we are going to understand in the takeover code chapter number 2, people. Insider trading. Insider trading. If a person is trading based on unpublished price sensitive information, what all rules and regulation will be applied to that person, we will study this in insider trading. We will study this in insider trading, people. Amazing chapter, amazing, and trust me, we are going to have super huge amount of fun. Okay, so what I'm trying to tell you is, people, these are all securities law that we are studying. These are all securities law that we are studying. SEBI regulation means securities law. And addressing investor complaints. Investor has paid the money, but he did not receive the shares. Investors have paid the money, but they did not receive the shares.
Right, people? So such type of complaints are entertained by whom, people? Compliance officer. If anything is going wrong, with respect to rules and regulation that we are studying right now, will be monitored by whom, people? Compliance officer. Will be monitored by, people? Compliance officer. Let's understand the example also, people. A compliance officer ensures that the company adheres to legal requirements of the IPO process. We know this. This includes ensuring that the company complies with SEBI regulations. This also we understood. Managing complaints from investors. This also we understood. And ensuring timely dispatch of refunds or shares. Timely dispatch of refunds or shares. People, there is a condition in initial public offer where if a company is not able to get subscription of 90% of shares, if a company is not able to get the subscription of 90% of shares, that means what, people? Company is raising 1000 crores through an IPO and 850 crores, 1000 crores, yes, 850 crores have only been subscribed, not 900 crores. In that case, people, company has to refund all the money that it has received. It cannot go for an IPO. This we are going to study in the next topic. Okay. So anything with respect to complaints and all will be dealt by whom, people? Compliance officer. As simple as that, people. Let's write it down. Okay. So people, we are done with merchant banker, we are done with registrar, we are done with underwriters. Then people, we spoke about syndicate member who helps in book building process, ensures that IPO runs smoothly. And then we understood bankers to the issue who deals with all the money related transactions. Now we are going to talk about compliance officer. Now we are going to talk about compliance officer. Where should I write it down? Compliance officer. What is his role, people? Number one is he monitors compliance with securities law. He monitors compliance with security laws. Okay. Next is he addresses investor complaints. He addresses investors' complaints. That's it, people. We are done with the intermediaries topics. So till now, people, we understood there are how many intermediaries? Merchant banker, registrar, underwriter, syndicate member, compliance officer, and banker to the issue. Let's quickly, people, within 2 minutes, let's quickly revise everything that we have studied till now. Merchant banker. What is his role, people? He is the main guy in the IPO process. He prepares documentation, he sets the share price, and he ensures that IPO reaches the investors. Very simple. Now, registrar, everything with respect to shares are dealt by whom, people? Registrar. Everything with respect to money will be dealt by whom? Bankers to the issue. Everything with respect to compliance with laws will be dealt by whom, people? Compliance officer. Now, registrar handles all the requests from people who want to buy shares. Number one, he ensures that everyone gets the right amount of shares at the right price. Plus, he keeps tracks of all share applications. Very easy. Then people, we understood the meaning of underwriters. Who are underwriters? underwriters are guarantee providers in IPO. They promise the company that if people do not subscribe to your shares, we will subscribe to the leftover shares so that you are able to raise the entire capital that you want to raise. You are able to raise the entire capital that you want to raise. In exchange, you have to pay us commission. After a certain period of time, we will gradually sell the shares in the stock exchange so that we will be done with your part. Next, people, syndicate member. Who is a syndicate member? Syndicate member help in the book building process. Now, what is the meaning of book building process? Book building mechanism is a process of discovering price, based on demand and supply. Based on demand and supply. The goal of book building process is, people, allotting all the shares at maximum price. Allotting all the shares at maximum price. Now, we don't know what is the meaning of maximum price. That is the reason why, people, we are using book building mechanism, right? Cool, people. Now, one more function of syndicate members, people, they assist in distributing the shares by ensuring that everything runs smoothly. Next is, people, bankers to the issue. Bankers to the issue handle all the transactions with respect to money. They are responsible for receiving money from the investors, and once IPO is done, they will transfer the entire money to the company. Very easy. Then we will understand the compliance officer. He monitors the compliance with securities laws. And number 2, he addresses investor complaints. People. That's it, people. We are done with the topic of intermediaries. Yes, we are done with this topic. Now, remaining, people, eligibility of issuer. Eligibility of issuer. There are 2 parts. Now, eligibility of issuer answers the question of when can a company go for an IPO. Eligibility of an issuer answers the one question, when can a company go for an IPO? Let's understand it quickly. Eligibility of issuer answers the one question, that is, eligibility of a company for an IPO. Now, people, when you, let's say you are a cost accountant. You have to pass through various levels of exams, then only you become a cost accountant, right? You have to clear first CMA Foundation, then you have to clear CMA Inter, and then you have to clear CMA Final. In the same way, people, there are 2 parts. There are 2 levels for a company to go through if it wants to go for an IPO. It has to pass through 2 levels for a company to go for an IPO. Now, what are those 2 levels, people? Number 1, number 2. This talks about when can a company think of an IPO. When can a company think of an IPO? When can a company think about an IPO? Now, once company has complied with all the conditions, then it will go towards the second level. The second level answers the question of, now that a company can think of an IPO, now when it is actually eligible for an IPO. This is what the second circle answers the question. When is a company eligible for an IPO? Right, people? Now, when you directly did not come to CMA Final, right, people? You first clear CMA Foundation, then you clear CMA Inter, and now you are in CMA final. In the same way, company has to pass through two levels. Number one is, when can a company even think of an IPO? Can a company like Kingfisher Airlines think of an IPO? No, because it is a fraudulent company. Lot of fraudsters were involved, people. So that company can never at all think of an IPO because their promoters, their shareholder were fraudsters. Now, if a company is a very clean sheet company, if a company is a very clean sheet company, then it can think of an IPO. After that, people, the second circle will come into the picture. Now we'll understand when is that company even eligible for an IPO. Okay, this part is little tricky part. Difficult. This one is easy. Okay, the red one is difficult, green one is easy. Now let's understand the green part. The green part. Yes. When can a company think of an IPO? When can a company think of an IPO? Beautiful topic, beautiful topic. We are going to understand every single rule, provision using logic and example, people, right? Okay. So people, there are how many conditions? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So people, there are 10 conditions. Once a company complies with 10 conditions, then only it can think of an IPO. Once all the 10 conditions are complied, then comes a red circle part where we will find out if a company is even eligible for an IPO or not. Easy, people, very easy. Okay. First condition is, people, first condition is simple. The issuer, promoters, directors, selling shareholder. Over here, right, people? Selling shareholder. This concept I'm going to explain you in the end of this topic, okay? The issuer, promoter, director should not be barred by SEBI or have been involved with companies barred by SEBI from accessing the capital markets. Now, people, we all know Vijay Mallya was a fraud. Vijay Mallya was a fraud. Now, if a company has got a director or a shareholder like Vijay Mallya, do you think public is going to even trust that company? No matter how clean chit the company is, if the promoter, if the director, if any shareholder is like Vijay Mallya, is like Nirav Modi, then people, do you think public is going to even trust the company for an IPO? No. Then people, in that case, that company cannot even think of an IPO. That company cannot even think of an IPO. Now, let's quickly read it again. Issuer, promoter, director or shareholder should not be debarred by SEBI, which means what, people? SEBI should not have told these people that you guys are not allowed to even enter the securities market. You're not even allowed to even enter the stock market. If SEBI has strictly told these people, even promoter, director, shareholder, then people, that company cannot even think of an IPO. Very simple. Or have been involved with the companies barred by SEBI from accessing the capital markets. Now, people, example I'm going to tell you. Mukesh Ambani is a very good person. Okay, very good person. There is nothing. He's a clean sheet person. He's a clean sheet person. But even if he deals with people like Vijay Mallya, Reliance company cannot even think of an IPO. Okay, a clean sheet company like Reliance cannot even think of an IPO. Why? Mukesh Ambani is a clean person. Reliance directors are clean person. Reliance promoters, the ones who form the company, are clean person, people. Then what is the problem? The problem is they were dealing with the people who were barred by SEBI from accessing the capital markets. Right, people? So you should first of all, if your company is going for an IPO, the promoters, directors, shareholder should not be debarred by SEBI. Condition number 1. Plus, condition number 2 is they should not even be involved with the companies who were debarred by SEBI from accessing the capital markets. As simple as that, people. Very easy. So first condition is, people, no debarment by SEBI. No debarment by SEBI. Yes. Number one is, people, eligibility of issuer. Okay. So over here, people, there are first condition. When can a company even think of an IPO? So over here, people, condition number one is condition number one. No debarred by SEBI. Now, who should not be debarred by SEBI? Number one is, people, the company. First of all, company itself should not be debarred by SEBI. Then we will talk about promoter. Then we will talk about director. Then we will talk about selling shareholders. Company, promoters, director, or selling shareholder should not be barred by SEBI. Should not be barred by SEBI. Plus, they should not be involved. They should not be involved with companies who are barred by SEBI. Who are barred by SEBI. So condition number one is, people, the company, directors, promoters are the one who formed the company, or shareholder have not been debarred by SEBI. Plus, they should even not be involved with the companies who were debarred by SEBI from accessing the capital markets. Okay. If SEBI has given you strict instructions that you guys cannot access the stock market, you guys are fraud, you cannot access the capital markets, in that case, people, these people are not eligible for an IPO. But the ones who are dealing with these people also, they are not eligible for an IPO. As simple as that. Okay. Perfect. So first condition is done, people. People, there is a similar condition like first condition. What is that? H condition. No willful defaulter. Let's read it. The issuer cannot make a public issue if the company, its promoters or directors are willful defaulter. Willful defaulter means what, people? They have defaulted in repayment of loans intentionally. They have defaulted in repayment of loans intentionally. That is called as willful defaulter. That is called as willful defaulter. First condition spoke about SEBI has told them you guys are not allowed to even enter the stock market, is the first condition. Second condition talks about if that company, promoter, directors have defaulted in loan repayments. If it is unintentionally, it is acceptable. But intentionally, if they have defaulted in loans, they cannot think of an IPO. They cannot think of an IPO. Okay. So next condition is, people, willful defaulter. That company should not be a willful defaulter. Okay, one sec. That company should not be a willful defaulter. Company, promoters, directors willful defaulter. So we are done with second conditions. Okay. Now people, two conditions talks about default. Two conditions talk about default. Which are the people? These two conditions talk about default. Okay. Now let's move further. Next people, stock exchange approval. People, if your company is listing your shares, if your company is listing your shares with the stock exchange, then obviously people, you will require the approval of stock exchange. Very, very basic. Logically, if you think you are going to sell and purchase shares on stock exchange. Now, without stock exchange approval, can you do that, people? No, obviously. Then second logical condition is, people, you need to obtain the approval of stock exchange. The issuer must apply at least one stock exchange for in principle approval. People, there are a lot of there are many stock exchanges. Calcutta Stock Exchange, Bombay Stock Exchange, National Stock Exchange. Okay. So the issuer can list their shares on multiple stock exchange, but they should at least choose one as the in principle stock exchange. Why, people? Because if a company is going for an IPO, if company wants to communicate anything to shareholders, they have to coordinate with the main stock exchange first. They have to coordinate with the main stock exchange. Then only they will talk about remaining stock exchanges. Like Reliance company can get its shares listed on Bombay Stock Exchange, Calcutta Stock Exchange, National Stock Exchange. But Reliance has to choose one of the stock exchange as in principle approval. Why, people? Because if Reliance is choosing National Stock Exchange as in principle stock exchange, then National Stock Exchange will be required to coordinate the activities with Reliance. This is the basic logic why in principle approval is required. It may choose one as a designated stock exchange. For an IPO, the listing should be on recognized stock exchange with nationwide trading terminus. Nationwide trading terminus means what, people? All over India, people are buying and selling shares on National Stock Exchange, Bombay Stock Exchange. This is the meaning of nationwide trading terminus. Nationwide trading terminus. Okay, very easy. Third is yes. Third is, you will require stock exchange approval, and you have to choose one as designated stock exchange. You have to choose one as designated stock exchange. That's it, people. Now, okay, let's move on to the next one. Next, people, agreement with depository. Agreement with depository. People, we know National Stock Exchange, Bombay Stock Exchange are the markets where you are going to sell your gold, where you are going to encash your gold. So obviously you will require the market's approval even to enter into the market. That is very easy, people. Now who is the second key player? Depository. Now who is this depository, people? Depository is a bank, and bank stores digital lockers. Bank stores digital locker. If you want to store your electronic share certificates in a digital locker, but the problem is that digital locker is held by whom, people? The digital locker is held by bank. And who are banks? Banks are like NSDL and CDSL are like banks. So obviously, people, you will require an agreement with the depository. The issuer must make an agreement with the depository for dematerializing shares. What is the meaning of dematerializing, people? Converting physical shares into electronic form. That is called as demat. So, people, next condition is also very easy. You will require whose approval? Agreement with Depository. Depository are like banks. Okay, no problem. Next, no partly paid up shares. No partly paid up shares. Any partly paid up equity share must either be fully paid up or forfeited before making the public issue. Now, people, a company is going for an IPO. A company is offering shares to the public for the first time on stock exchange. Now, people, if all the investors are paying the full amount of money, then don't you think it would be injustice? Don't you think it would be injustice if company has got already partly paid up shareholders? That means shareholders are not being treated equally. So to prevent such situations, the SEBI regulation says that if an issuer wants to go for an IPO, they have to ensure that they don't have any partly paid up shares. All the shares should be fully paid up. If all the shares are not fully paid up, forfeit, cancel out the partly paid up shares so that all the shareholders will be treated equally. All the shareholders should be treated equally. Very easy, people. Agreement with depository is done. Next is no partly paid up shares. No partly paid up shares. If at all they are partly paid up, people, if at all they are partly paid up, they either have to be fully paid or they have to forfeit the shares. Very easy, people. Okay. Next is, people, next is one more very easy. Let's read it out. Let us read it out. Yes. IPO issue period. What the rule says? The public issue must remain open for at least 3 days and not more than 10 days, people. What is the meaning of this? If a company wants to go for an IPO, it cannot sell its shares throughout the year. It cannot keep open the offer for the public to purchase the shares throughout year. No. It should be remain open for at least 3 days and not more than 10 days. Not more than 10 days. Between this period, people, between this period 3, 10. Between this period, people can buy shares in an IPO. People can buy shares in an IPO. People, Zomato is going for an IPO. Can you buy shares of Zomato throughout the year? On stock exchange, it is allowed. On stock exchange, it is allowed because you are buying shares from the sellers. You are buying shares from the sellers, but you are not buying shares from Zomato. You are not buying shares from Zomato. If Zomato is selling you shares, if Zomato is issuing you shares, you can only buy the shares of Zomato between 3 to 10 days. This will be fixed by Zomato. It will tell you that from 17th July to 23rd July, the IPO will be open. Those who want to buy the shares between this period, they can buy the shares. After that period, issue will be closed on. Why? Because after that, we will be allocating shares to the public. After that, we will be allocating shares to the public. So, people, very easy. The public issue must remain open for at least 3 days and not more than 10 days. IPO issue period should be 3 to 10 days. Very easy, people. People, after that, we are going to revise every single thing quickly. Okay, do not worry at all. People, do not worry at all. I'm there with you. I'm going to do a quick revision of everything we have studied till now. Okay, don't worry at all. Let's talk about the next rule, that is, yes, promoters holding should be in demat form. People, companies issuing shares in digital format, but the promoters, the ones who have started the company, they are only themselves holding shares in physical format. Okay, is it logical, people? It does not sound logical. Now it is in a digital. Now we are in the digital era. We are in digital era. Government wants everything should be done digitally. Government wants everything to be done digitally. Now, if all shareholders are holding shares in demat form, electronic form, and the promoters, the ones who have started the company, the ones who have started everything, they are themselves holding the shares not in digital format but in physical format. Does that make sense, people? No. So rule says that promoters' shares should be first held in demat form. If it is not held in electronic form, they have to convert physical into electronic, and then they can think of an IPO. Okay. Promoters holding in demat form. Nothing rocket science, people. Very easy, very easy. Now comes three more rules that is going to be little difficult. Three more rules that is going to be little difficult. Okay, three more rules that are going to be little difficult, people. Let's understand that. Yes. Now we're going to talk about three rules. Number one rule is, people, limit on general corporate purpose. Limit on general corporate purpose. People, why does a company goes for an IPO? Because it wants to raise a huge amount of money that could not be possible through loans, that could not be possible through personal savings alone. That is the reason why a company raises such huge amount of money from the public. Now, people, if a company is raising such huge amount of money from the public, obviously it is expected to use that money to expand the business, to diversify the business, to acquire company, to upgrade it technological wise, right, people, to grow exponentially. That is the reason why, people, company raises money from the public, right? Now, this rule says is that you cannot use this money beyond a certain limit. For what purpose? For just covering your day-to-day expenses. For that purpose, you cannot use money more than a limit, more than specified limit. Why? If you want to raise money from the public to just survive, to just pay the expenses of your daily operations like working capital requirements, to pay the salaries of your directors, or to purchase raw materials, if you want to use such huge amount of money for such small things, then, people, that means you are not fit to be a company. You are not fit to be a company. That means you are taking such huge amount of money to take care of your daily expenses. Now, why would you take such huge amount of money to take care of your daily expenses? Why? Because you are yourself not able to take care of your daily expense. That is the reason why you are taking money from the public. That means, people, that means this company is totally unfit to be run. That company is totally unfit to be run. Why? Because it is not able to manage themselves. It is not able to manage their survival expenses. How are they going to grow? Right, people? That is the reason why, people, this rule has been made. Why is this rule? What is the rule says, people? The amount allocated to general corporate purpose, daily business activities, cannot exceed 25% of the funds raised through an IPO. 25% of funds raised through an IPO. If you want to use it for general corporate purpose, don't worry, you are allowed. But don't use all your money for such small things. Then what is the use of raising such a huge amount of money from the public? Right? If you want to grow exponentially, you grow. If you want to upgrade technologically wise, you upgrade. If you want to diversify business, if you want to acquire something, if you want to do something else, basically, if you want to grow really, then you take money from the public. Otherwise, do not take money from the public. If at all, in case you have taken money from the public, maximum 25% only you can use it for your daily business activities, not more than that. For example, if a company is raising 100 crores, people, if a company is raising 100 crores, then maximum they can allocate 25 CR for general corporate purpose. Remaining 75 crores, the company has to use it to expand. The company has to use it to expand. This is the basic logic why this rule has been made. Basic reason why this rule has been made, people. Okay, next point is limit on general corporate purpose. Limit on general corporate purpose, that is, it should not exceed, okay, I will not cross exceed because you will not be able to read. It should not exceed 25%. It should not exceed 25%. You can use it for general corporate purpose, but it should not exceed more than 25%. Very easy, people. Till here, not a problem. Now, one more simple rule we are going to understand. Minimum subscription should be 90%. Which means what, people? If a company is raising 100 crores, if a company is going for an IPO for 100 crores to raise, if public are not even subscribing 90% of the issue size, that means public do not trust the company. The public is not trusting the company. Company has to refund all the money of the investors. Company has to refund all the money of the investors. This is the basic logic behind why this rule has been made. If you want to go for an IPO, no problem, go for an IPO. But on one condition, that if a company, that if public is not trusting you, and when will that happen? Which will, if the public is not even buying 90% of your shares, the company is not even buying, public is not even buying 90% of your shares. That means public do not trust you. You cannot go for an IPO. You cannot go for an IPO. This is the next rule. Now, people are going to talk about the last rule. Last rule is little difficult, people. Just be with me, okay? Be with me. Okay. People, you tell me, company is going for an IPO. Company is going for an IPO. Arey yaar. It is raising 100 crores from the public. Okay. Let's not include public at all. Company is going for an IPO. Company requires 100 crores for what purpose? To purchase 10,000 vehicles. Company is into delivery, food delivery business. Now, it wants to expand across every corner of India. Now, for that purpose, it requires vehicles, people, vehicles. Now, to purchase 10,000 vehicles, they will require 100 crores. They will require 100 crores. This is called as project finance. This is called as project finance. So we have project finance is 100 crores. Our project is we need to purchase 10,000 vehicles so that we can expand every corner of India. So that we can expand to every corner of India. Now people, for that we need how many crores? 100 crores. Now people, do you think the company will raise the entire 100 crores from the public? No. They will not raise the entire 100 crores from the public. First source of capital will be their own savings. Their own savings. Let's say in their savings account there is 1 CR. There is 1 CR in their savings account. Now they have taken a loan of 10 CR. They have taken a loan for 10 CR from the bank. Now remaining, how much people is remaining? Remaining money, they will take it from public. They will take it from public. Remaining is, people, how much? 89 CR. 89 CR is remaining. Correct, people? Company wants to raise 100 crores from the public. Company wants to raise 100 crores for what purpose? Company requires 100 crores to purchase 10,000 delivery vehicles so that it can expand to every corner of India. For that purpose, company needs 100 crores. Now people, 100 crores the company will not raise entirely from the public. Company will not raise entire 100 crores from the public. Some amount of money will be there in savings account. Some money it will take it from bank as a loan. Remaining money they will take it from public. Remaining money they will take it from public. Now the next rule says is that company should not be entirely dependent on public. Company should not be entirely dependent on public. No. Then it should have at least 75% of 10 CR. It should have a firm backing of 75% of 10 CR, which means what, people? Company should not be entirely dependent on IPO. Let's not talk about savings at all. Let's not talk about savings at all. Okay? Savings is not in the picture. Now, if SEBI regulations, SEBI wants that the company should be independent. Company should not be entirely dependent on an IPO to raise money. Company should not be entirely dependent on IPO to raise money. For that purpose, SEBI says that excluding project finance, excluding the IPO proceeds, and this is called as, people, internal accruals. Okay, let's call it as savings only. Rule says is that company should have a firm backup of at least 75% of project finance minus internal accruals plus IPO proceeds. Basically, people, SEBI says is that you should have a firm backup. You should have a firm backup. Firm backup means what, people? If at all you do not receive money from the public, if at all you do not receive money from the public, you have to anyhow arrange 75% of the loan amount that you are taking. You have to arrange, you have to have a firm backup. Let's say Ashni Grover, a company like Ashni, a person like Ashni Grover or Nikhil Kamath. Let's take an example of Bill Gates. Bill Gates has given me a promise that if at all public do not pay me money, I will still end up receiving money. How? The loan that I am taking, Bill Gates promises that 75% of my loan will be given to me. 75% of loan will be given to me if at all I do not receive money from the public. So the rule says, the basic rule says that people, company should not be dependent on an IPO. So 75% of 10 CR, that is 7.5 CR firm backup should be there. Then only you can think of an IPO. 75% firm backup should be there. Then only you can think of an IPO. So now people, let's read the rules. Let's read the rules. Where is the rule, people? Where is the rule? Yes. Firm arrangement of 75% of funds. The company must make firm arrangements for at least 75% of the project finance. Project finance means the total amount of money that I require, excluding IPO proceeds and internal accruals. Write it down, people. Write it down. Over here, write it down. Internal accruals. This ensures, why is this rule made? This ensures the company is not solely reliant on IPO for funding. The company is not entirely dependent on IPO for money. Okay. This last point will be, I know people, this is going to be a little difficult for you. I will again tell you. The purpose is company should not be entirely dependent on an IPO. Company should not be entirely dependent on IPO. Company has also got savings account. But in case if company does not receive money from the public, now it is taking a loan. It is taking a loan from the bank, right? If at all bank does not even give the loan, gives the loan, I should have a firm backup by someone bigger than me, that he is promising that 75% of the loan will be somehow will be arranged for the company to utilize. This is the shortest and easiest way I can explain. Okay. Company should not be entirely dependent on IPO. For that purpose, now let's exclude IPO proceeds. Let's exclude the savings. Remaining money, the remaining money that I'm looking at, I should have at least 75% of firm backup from a very big person, like Bill Gates, Mukesh Ambani. This is the rule that it is saying. Very easy, people. People, in case if you have got any doubt with respect to anything, you have to drop it in the comment section. Any doubt with respect to anything, you have to drop it in the comment section. Now, people, we are done with the basic. When can a company think for an IPO? The first circle, we are done. We are done with the first circle. Tomorrow, we are going to talk about the bigger circle, the heart of the chapter, the main conditions for a company to be eligible for an IPO. Now, let's revise it, every single thing. Debarred by SEBI and willful defaulter. 2 points talks about default. 2 points are very, very similar to default. Two points 2 points talks about default. 2 points talks about default. Then people, there are very easy points. 3 very easy points. Choose stock exchange approval. It's a very easy point, people. Obviously, if you are listing your shares on stock exchange, you will obviously require the approval of stock exchange, number 1. Then again, you also require approval of depository, agreement with the depository. Then one more point is there, people, very easy, that is IPO issue period should be at least how many days? 3 to 10 days. Nothing rocket science in this, people. Okay, people, one sec. Let's give this a different color. We will give this a different color. IPO issue period is easy. No partly paid up shares are also very easy. Stock exchange approval is also very easy. So there are 3 very easy points. 3 very easy points. Three easy points. Now, let's talk about pink point, pink color. Demat agreement with depository. Why would a company enter into an agreement with depository? So that it can convert their physical shares into electronic format, plus electronic format can be stored in digital locker. Digital locker, you have to keep it with the bank. For that, you will require agreement with the bank, depository. Then one more is promoters' shares should be held in demat form. Well, just one sec. Demat form, there are 2 points. And then difficult one are 3 points. 3 are little difficult. Little difficult. Which are they? Limit on general corporate purpose. Next is minimum subscription should be 90%. And then, okay, we have not written the last point. Let's write it down. Last point says is that firm arrangements should be made for 75% funds excluding IPO proceeds and internal accruals. Internal accrual means what, people? Savings. So firm arrangement should be made for 75% of funds excluding IPO proceeds and internal accruals. This is the third difficult one. That's it, people. We are done with the topic of when can a company even think of an IPO. Okay, let's now quickly revise this topic. So default related, there are two topics. Default related, there are 2 points. Demat related, there are 2 points. And very, very easy points, there are 3 points. And very, very difficult, there are 3 points. Okay. Let's quickly read the default points. 2 are for default. Which are the people? The company, promoters, directors, or selling shareholder should not be debarred by SEBI from accessing the capital markets, and they should not be involved with the companies who are debarred by SEBI from accessing the capital markets. One is easy, talks about debarred. Next is people, willful defaulter. Company should not be a willful defaulter. Company should not be a willful defaulter. Company, promoters, directors should not be a willful defaulter. Very easy. People, over here, I want you to write last 6 months also. Last 6 months, to be precise. In the last 6 months, you should not be a willful defaulter. Okay. Now, 3 very, very easy that you can even write in the exam without even studying this. Which are the people? Number 1 is you have to make an agreement with the depository. Depository means what, people? Bank stores digital locker. In digital locker, Demat account, you store electronic share certificates. So obviously, you will require depositories agreement. Number 2, people, you are going to transact. You are going to buy and sell the shares in the market. For that purpose, people, if it's like, people, I am a businessman, I want to list my product on Amazon. Can this be possible without Amazon's consent, without Amazon's approval? No. In the same way, if the company wants to list its shares on a market, it will require the approval of the market. Very easy. And third is, people, we know IPO issue period should be at least 3 days and maximum it should be 10 days. Maximum should be 10 days. So 3 easy is done, people. 2 Demat is also done. Now 3 difficult. The one less difficult is, people, minimum 90% of subscription is required. That is number 1. Minimum 90% subscription required. If no, then you have to refund the entire money to the public within 15 days. Okay, let's write it down. Within 15 days. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Otherwise, refund within 15 days. Okay. Now, comparatively more difficult than this is maximum 25% you can use it for general corporate purposes. Maximum 25% you can use it for general corporate purposes. Number 1, 2 is easy. Next is the most difficult part. That is 75% of the firm arrangement should be made by someone bigger person, so that the company should not be entirely dependent on an IPO. Company should not be entirely dependent on an IPO. Now, firm arrangements of funds excluding IPO proceeds, excluding savings, that is internal accruals. That's it, people. We are done with the first circle, that is eligibility of an issuer. Eligibility of an issuer. So we are done with this circle. Okay. Tomorrow, people, tomorrow we are going to dive in little deeper, and when we will be done with the third topic, people, after that all the topics are comparatively very, very easy. Comparatively very, very easy. I think we can complete the next remaining lectures within 3 days. SEBI regulation will be done in 3 days. 10 marks will be given to you in such a cakewalk manner, in such a easy cakewalk manner. Okay. Then we will revise the entire chapter in one lecture itself. After that, people, I will give you, we will be solving model questions. Once we solve the model question, then we will do test series where you are required to send me, people, send me a hi message on WhatsApp, and I will send you test papers, and you have to send me your answers and I will give you feedback. After that, people will jump on to past year's question paper. Okay. So, people, we are done over here, and I want you people to just pause this video, draw this diagram. Very, very important. People, whatever mind map I am drawing, it is the most people, the most important part in the entire whatever I'm teaching right now is mind maps. Mind maps is very, very important, people. So just draw it, okay? Pause this video, take some time, draw it, and then you have to exit the video. Cool, people? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, boom. Okay, people, just once again, if at all it was not clear, just please pause the video, write it down, and then proceed. Done, people? This is done. Then also write this down. Firm backup, 75% project finance. This is also done. This is very, very important. 100 rows is called as, often students get confused the difference between project finance and IPO. Project finance and IPO processes are completely different. Project finance means the total amount of money that you require. Among that, project finance, you will have savings, you will have loan, and then you will take money from the public as IPO. Pause this video, draw this diagram, and then people, we are done for today's lecture. Okay, people? If you have got any doubts, please drop all your doubts in the YouTube comment section. And within 12 hours, people, I am going to ensure that all your doubts are resolved in the most beautiful way possible. Cool, people? So I will see you tomorrow, 11:30 a.m. sharp. Until then, people, eat well, sleep well, study well. Thank you so much for watching. Take care.